Alright, got a bit of a fun, chillax video today. I'm going to be going over my investment thesis and strategy moving into 2022. So we're going to jump right into this, but before we do so, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like. It helps out the channel a lot, and it's greatly appreciated. So this is my M1 Finance account. This is my main taxable investment account, and ultimately one day this is the account I'm going to retire and live off of. So this is the ultimate destination for all of my assets. But when it comes to 2022, I have to show you my crypto portfolio because this is the centerpiece of my 2020 strategy. Now, before you click off the video, I know crypto is an extremely divisive topic. Some people think it's a scam, and other people like me think it's the future of fintech. I'm not going to try and convince you one way or another. Again, this is just my strategy in 2022. So when it comes to crypto right now, this is very much a high risk, high reward kind of an investment. So you have to have a strong conviction, and I definitely do on a fundamental level. Again, people disagree with that, but I have to say that whole division usually is what makes great opportunities for investors. I mean, a recent example of this is Alibaba. Right now, people are very split on that stock due to its Chinese origins. Some people think it's a horrible investment, and others think it's a great company trading at a severe discount right now. But that division is what creates the opportunities, and only time will tell ultimately what's going to happen. And to me, crypto is in the same boat. If we compare it versus the QQQ, it has outperformed this growth ETF by a severe margin. In the past 1 year, BTC is up 438% and the QQQ up 27%. Now, of course, crypto is way more volatile. If we zoom into just the past 6 months, it flips a little bit. If we zoom into just the past 1 month, it flips again. So you definitely have to have a strong conviction when it comes to any kind of speculative investment like this. Otherwise, all of these severe price actions will eventually shake you out of the market. So looking at the current price action of BTC, it's been doing great. There's a huge rally going on, mainly based off of the positive news of a Bitcoin futures ETF coming out probably next week. Now, the Bitcoin futures ETF in and of itself isn't a huge deal, but it is a stepping stone to eventually having an actual BTC-backed exchange traded fund on the market. And if I'm being honest, I do expect this to be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event, and the price most likely in the short term will come back down to possibly even 50,000. But something fundamental that I want to point out about the whole entire crypto space is that as time goes on and these assets mature and the market cap becomes larger, the excessive levels of volatility we see will become more and more muted in the future. And that also means it will have less and less returns. And that makes complete sense because as an asset matures and it becomes less speculative, less risky, of course it will have less returns. It's just that along the way, it's going to be a very bumpy ride. This latest correction that happened in the spring, summer of 2021 was because of the news that China is banning the mining and possession of cryptocurrencies. But since then, we actually had really positive news that most of the mining has now shifted to North America. And in my opinion, that puts crypto in an even stronger, more resilient position. So it's very much so the case of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's why the riskiness of crypto is going down over time. And because of that, I believe crypto has what's known as expanding cycles. So there was a major rally in around 2011, followed by another one in 2014, 2018, and now we're definitely approaching another cyclical market rally. But because this asset class is maturing as more and more time passes by, the length of these cycles are increasing and the amount of returns are decreasing. So for example, the rally in 2014 lasted roughly 350 days and it returned 8,500%. The next major rally in 2017 took about 630 days and returned about 4,400%. And so far in this cycle, we are about 380 days in and we have returns of 500%. But following the logic of expanding cycles with smaller and smaller returns, I expect this cycle to last something like 1,000 days and have returns of around 1,500%, possibly landing us at around 150K per Bitcoin. And that means this cycle is going to come to an end in late 2022, possibly early 2023. But of course, this is still very much so a new asset class and the volatility is still very high. And between now and then, I still expect there to be at least one or two major and very harsh market corrections. I'm going to leave this resource down below. This is lookintobitcoin.com, and they have a bunch of data science models like this that try and predict the price action of Bitcoin based off of this cyclical nature. This is the 200-week moving average, which acts as a heat map for the price of BTC, as well as metrics like this, which show how the market is currently positioned. So is there a lot of optimism in the market? Is there euphoria? Is there fear? Very insightful data. Okay, so with all that in mind, when it comes to my strategy, I am not going to try and time the market top. That is impossible. I've been in crypto long enough to know that I am not capable of achieving that. Rather, I'm going to be selling incremental amounts of crypto along the way, which is known as taking profits. In fact, I recently just took around $8,000 in profit when the price was around $58,500. And as the price continues to go up, as we can see in the past 3 months, my crypto portfolio is up almost 100%. But as this continues, I will incrementally take profits. And from that point, my plan is to take the proceeds and invest it in my main M1 Finance portfolio. Because in comparison, my M1 Finance portfolio, it's very safe, diversified, it's focusing on high quality income and growth funds. So this is my main overarching strategy in 2022. Take profits from a crypto and put it into my M1 Finance portfolio. There's a saying in finance that can sum up this whole strategy, which is concentration builds wealth and diversification preserves it. And that's exactly what I plan on doing in 2022. And speaking of my M1 Finance portfolio, I always leave a link to this down below so you guys can see exactly what holdings I have. But here I have a split between growth and income assets. And in comparison to my crypto, these growth assets are way more tame. I have ETFs like VUG and IGV, which are very broad market and diversified growth-focused ETFs. And when it comes to my income assets, my favorites are jepi, divo, schd, along with the custom covered call ETF I talked about more recently on my channel. And here I have the S&P 500 mixed with a covered call S&P 500 ETF. And this allows me to fine-tune the exact dividend yield and growth that I want out of the S&P 500. So to summarize, if all goes according to plan in 2022, which by the way is never what actually happens, but I plan on realizing profits in my crypto portfolio and shoveling those proceeds directly into my more diversified M1 Finance portfolio. Because as mentioned, this is the ultimate destination for all of my assets because this is the account I plan to retire off of. And in this account, I still have a mixture of growth and income assets because I think they complement each other very nicely. There's a good chance that the next decade in the 2020s, there's not going to be the same level of growth we saw in the 2010s. The 2010s were a fantastic year for equity markets, and more specifically, growth and tech names. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen. That bull run could continue into the next decade, but in case it cools down a little bit, my income assets will perform a lot better and help to pick up some of the slack and provide income if the growth market isn't performing as well as it historically has been. So that's my strategy and approach to investing in 2022. Let me know in the comments down below what you think and what your strategy is moving into 2022. If you're still watching and enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.